What up, what up, what up? How's it going, everyone out there? If you're catching this on the podcast or if you're watching this on my Instagram or the YouTube, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. So today's episode, what I wanted to dive into, well, before we get off business, I gotta be off business. How you doing? How is your business? Shout out to everyone who's been commenting on my Instagram posts. Not all of them have been bots and solicitors. So, to the people out there who this message touched you a little bit, I appreciate you saying something. And I hope your entrepreneurial journey is definitely hitting the leaps and bounds that you want. Got to make sure I can. I got the baby cam here. Little guy is napping as I record this. This is what entrepreneurship looks like. Recording YouTube videos and podcasts while your little dude's taking a nap. All right, so on today's episode, let's get into it. This is what you came here for. It wasn't to see my cute little chubby face. It is for the gems. It is for a little bit of the gold, hopefully. You've liked what we've been doing so far. So today what we're going to talk about is entrepreneurship is hard. It's hard. It is hard. It's definitely not, I would say it's definitely up there one of the hardest things that I've, set out to do in my life. And I think beforehand, when I was always being a serial entrepreneur, I've always had a 9-to-5 to lean back on. So it kind of switches your mindset to when you go from 9-to-5 entrepreneuring to entrepreneur, when this is how you actually pay your bills. It definitely is difficult. So today I want to talk a little bit about that learning curve. Why is being entrepreneurship difficult? And not necessarily like what is out there that makes entrepreneurship difficult. I think that's a silly conversation because it will be different for everyone. Not everyone's pain point is going to be my pain point, like it wouldn't be your pain point. What we're going to talk about is a little bit more of like the mind shift behind why it's difficult. So as you know, before we get into it, we must always hydrate. I'm actually trying this new Monster drink. I should really lay off of the energy drinks. It's not doing anything great for my skin. And for someone who's making content and videos, having a nice mug for people to stare at while they digest your content can only help your appeal, in my opinion. So, got the trusty notebook as always. Let's get into it today. So, what are we looking at here? It's not going to get any easier. I think that's just something you have to come to terms with. With being an entrepreneur, jumping into this, you're 10 toes in the game. It's not going to get any easier. You just have to get better at it. Simple as that. I actually saw that in a movie. And when I saw it, and I forget the name of the movie, I wish I could quote it. If anyone's like seeing this and they can remember it, put it in the comments. But when I saw it in the movie, I was like, oh my God, that hit. It was kind of like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where I'm like, oh, it's so true. Because it's never going to get easy. It's never going to get easier for you. Whether your elements of your business might get easier, other parts of it might get harder. And it's always an adaptive circle. Adapting. We're going to leave it in so you can just hear me fumble over my word vomit and as I try to slow my brain down to get these words out. But let's say it's easier for you to generate leads, then it might be harder for you to get certain products in. Maybe you may have an abundance of products, but maybe your personal life is in a new in a new stage. Getting married, having a baby, going through a divorce, whatever it is. There's so much that happens in life. Life is such a beautifully strange beast that there's always going to be something that is going to challenge your industry and challenge you as a professional. And I'm just here to let you know that it's not going to get any easier. You need to remove the if I keep doing it, it's going to get easier. It's not. you're just going to get better at it. Your skin's going to get thicker. You're going to get better at communicating. So let's talk about some of the things that you just need to get better at. You need to get better at prospecting and lead generation. If your business is going to succeed, it's not going to get any easier. It's super duper difficult. I actually was in a little bit of a coaching call with a colleague, and he was just like breaking down to me on the things that I'm doing wrong on my LinkedIn prospecting. And I realized like my approach is going to have to change. Like my mindset of how I wanted to approach that side of the business is going to have to change. And it's not necessarily anything I was doing wrong. It was just the nature of LinkedIn and how they have changed is going to make what I was trying to do change. And some of the things that I was trying to utilize are now obsolete. So, yeah, it's just being able to see something that's going wrong in your business and being able to communicate to someone who's having more success in that thing that is going wrong in your business, and then having the humility to come to them and just be like, hey, can you help me out maybe? Because I think all entrepreneurs, for the most part, understand how difficult it is to be an entrepreneur. And I think that they're more inclined to like help you out, to like throw you a bone versus like, you know, there may be some people who are just too busy, you know, to like reach out, like to respond back to you. But I honestly believe that if you genuinely reach out to people that you know who are doing better than you at certain things, and you reach out with humility, you don't just jump in their DMs and you don't follow them. You've never commented before or anything like that. And you just demand answers. Well, that's not going to work for you. But like just being able to get that help, again, like that's something that you're going to have to get better at. You're going to have to get better at asking for help and realizing when you need it and who's the best person to give it to you. The best person to give it to you may not be someone you can contact, but there's probably someone who's best to give it to you within your immediate sphere and circle. I am pretty sure that's a 100% guarantee. So definitely think about that. Another thing you're going to have to get better at is balancing your money. This month has been brutal financially for me. There was 2 accounting snafus at 2 of the companies that I did business for this month, and for the most part, like the way that their accounting works, all of my April work, I really won't see those returns until May, which is difficult because it's like it just makes you kind of feel like you didn't do anything for that month. But in the meantime, I still have bills. Like my bills aren't stuck in an accounting loop or error. So my bills are still due on the same exact time. You know, like I gotta eat, kids gotta eat. So this is one of the first times that I actually dipped into my nest egg to cover some things, and the check came through. It's crazy late. We're talking like 3 to 4 weeks late. But still, like I was able to put back what I needed into my nest egg and reinvest the West back into some more bills. And it worked out. And if I bought everything that I wanted to buy, if I was out there spending money on like testing new things and just going, if I wasn't on top of my finances, this could have been extremely difficult to manage. And it could have been something that could really cripple a smaller business. You know, it can be one of those things that definitely make you look like, is your entrepreneurship even working? Maybe you should go get a 9-to-5 or something along those lines. So, you know, managing your finances is never, ever going to get easier. You just have to get better at it. You know, you'll get more money that comes in. You'll understand the tax brackets a little bit more. You'll be able to understand how to negotiate your prices and your fees. You will learn really, really quickly how important it is to charge the right amount for the services that you provide. No longer are you afraid to talk to a client and be like, tell them how much you're trying to make, because how much you're trying to make is paying your bills. How much you're trying to make is like what's keeping you alive. So if you know you bring value to a company and you offer them a product that they need, for some reason they're talking to you. So obviously you have something that they desire. Get paid for it. Get compensated for it. Nothing in this life goes for free, and neither should your time, talents, or energy. Get better at it. Trust me, the sooner you get better at it, it will make things easier. All right, next we're going to be talking about that communication. Oof. Getting better at communicating is so difficult. Communication is so vital. If you were to look up like statistics on divorces, I'm pretty sure communication is probably right at the very top of why, things don't work out for a lot of people. It's super difficult to do. It's super difficult to communicate properly. Not only communicating with the people in your life, but then communicating clearly and openly to your clients can be difficult. And it's up to you to navigate that relationship. It's not up to your client to tell you how you want to be communicated with. It's up to you to tell the client how to communicate in the most effective way for you to give them what they need. If you're one of those people that can do very well with just text messages and Instagram DMs, and you don't need to like talk on the phone to anyone or get a visual aid or anything like that to clearly understand what your client is trying to accomplish, then kudos for you. I particularly am not one of those people. So most likely if you do business with me, I'm definitely going to try to get you on the phone at some point. It's probably going to be a very casual conversation, probably informative. There's going to be a handful of jokes because that's just how I operate. And we're going to get the best out of it, because if you do not, no one's going to have a good time. Poor communication equals horrible day. You're not going to be satisfied with the work that you're providing. The client's not going to be satisfied with the product that they got. They're most likely not going to refer you, or, because we all know word of mouth is the best marketing. And it's just not going to be anything good for your ego or for your portfolio. Not to even mention the personal side of things. Me and my wife, we both stay home, and during the day, I watch the kid while she works, and then during the evenings, she watches the kid while I work. And sometimes I have shoots during the day. And I need to communicate that with her so she can communicate that with her bosses at her job, so they can understand that, she may be going offline a little bit more here and there or whatever have you. Communication is vital. I just can't pick up a shoot in the middle of a Wednesday at 9 a.m. and not think about who's going to feed the kid because the workday has started. It's not going to get any easier, but you can get better at it. Also, let's just talk about getting better at expectations. I think when it comes to expectations, I'm not even speaking of client expectations. I'm speaking to you as the entrepreneur, your expectations of entrepreneurial life and owning your own business life, the LLC life, as it gets bigger, the more you grow, the more your expectations will be leveled. Not to say that you can rule the world, but there's just things you don't know until you know, like taxes, quarterly. You gotta get on that. Accountants, you gotta get on that. If you charge a certain amount of money because you think that's how much you need for X, Y, and Z, you should probably charge a little bit more for taxes, because the taxes are going to come. There's going to be some days where it's feast or famine, especially if you don't have those systems in play. Like just being able to level the expectations. You might have a hot month. You're just turning down work, a hot month, and then you have a super cold month. And hopefully you were putting aside your nest egg. Your nest egg looks good to cover you through those cold months, through those breezy winters, because if you don't, your business isn't going to last long, just like being able to understand the expectations of entrepreneurship. It's lonely. When you go to a job, you have coworkers and people that you talk to. You can talk to your clients and stuff, but they're not necessarily coworkers. You don't have the same camaraderie. You guys are like partners in a way, and sometimes they come and sometimes they go. So it's definitely one of those things where I think a lot of people get romanticized, especially social media, LLC, Twitter. Like those people romanticize working for yourself and owning your own business and calling your own shots. And not to say that it's not great. I mean, it's the most fulfilling work that I've done, but it's also the most difficult work that I've ever done. And I've gotten to a point now where I've been able to set my own expectations within myself. And I'm having conversations with people that I never thought I would be having, where I'm just like, hey, I don't have the capacity to learn this new craft. I just don't have it at the moment. I would like to outsource some work to you for you to accomplish this X, Y, and Z, so that I can continue to move forward and build my business. And it just makes it makes it better, leveling those expectations on what you can do, what you can't do, how your money's going to roll. What is your life going to be like? It is not all just, dance and ditty and Dame Dash pouring champagne on people when you're out here in this entrepreneur life. It is a lot of like checking emails, prospecting, always be prospecting, always trying to close, just telling 1,000,001 people what you do. Telling people that what you do is profitable is also something that's super duper difficult. And just believing, like doing all that and still maintaining the belief in yourself. Because the one thing about entrepreneurship, if you don't take anything else from this conversation, do take this away, is the level of self-confidence and belief that you have to have in your ability and in yourself has to be borderline insane. You have to believe in yourself when the world may not necessarily believe in you, because that belief in yourself, that little spark in all of the darkness, is what's going to be the difference between you celebrating at the end of the finish line and you packing up your business and calling it a day. And then, it's going to be super funny. After you pack up your business, after it closes down, a year or 2, 3 years down the line, you're going to be having a conversation with someone and they're going to be like, yo, you remember when you did that thing? I thought that thing was really good, man. You should have sticked with it. And then you're going to be thinking, you idiot, you didn't help me at all with that. I put out a GoFundMe campaign and I didn't see you donate. You wasn't talking that then. You were asking me, is this profitable? Because people have very short memories. That's why you got to believe in yourself. So I think that kind of wraps it up for me on this episode. So do all the things that I usually say to do. If you like what you're hearing, hit me up on Instagram, Mark Randall 3RD, and comment away. Share this with anyone that you think could utilize it. And until next time, get home safe.